told you you can choose joy in your life? I know if you'd asked me that 5 years ago, I would have thought you were crazy. In January of 2015, not only was the weather cold and dark, but so was my heart. I was in a very bad place emotionally. I was sad and lonely. I was lost and I didn't know who I was. I somehow found the courage to leave what had become a toxic relationship. We had spent the past 15 years trying to figure things out, and in the end, I wasn't sure who I hated more, him or myself. I had agreed to live by his contract that our life was hard, we were broke, and bad things happened to us. Agreeing to live by this contract made me a really ugly person, somebody I couldn't be proud of, somebody I didn't recognize. Agreeing to live by this contract also inspired my inner drama llama to be alive and well. Are you guys all familiar with the infamous drama llama? Perhaps you know one, perhaps you are one, or perhaps like me, you were one. I lived out my life as one huge drama. Everything was a big deal, and I mean everything. It was a never-ending cycle of worry, fears, tears, and drama. I worried about my kids, my health, money, if I'd lose my job. Something as simple as a car repair bill could bring me to tears. I shared my worries and woes with anybody who would listen, and it was exhausting. I got to the point where I realized I could no longer feed my inner drama llama, and something had to change. I can't remember how I found these 3 words, but I am so grateful that I decided to start living a life of peace, grace, and joy. I no longer wanted bickering and drama in my life. I let go of friendships that inspired my inner drama llama, and I chose peace. And if something happened, like an unexpected car repair bill, I handled it with grace. I learned to roll with it, no drama, all the while finding joy. I remember so clearly asking my partner to come along with me. Why don't you want to be happy with me? We could have such an amazing life. We have so much to be grateful for. The more I chose peace, grace, and joy in my life, the greater the disparity and toxicity of that relationship presented itself. And this is what propelled me to leave. I bought the cutest little house, and I moved in on July 1st, 2015. I felt so light and excited as I went about turning my house into a home. I made a cozy, loving environment for my children, and I could not wait to create new memories. I invited my friends to share my space with me. One of those friends sent me a text message, and it said, "This is how I feel when I'm at your house." Along with the text message was a screenshot, a picture of a sign with an unusual word, its pronunciation, and its meaning. The word was gezellig, and it means a feeling. Warm, relaxing, comfortable, cozy atmosphere, friendly ambiance, pleasant togetherness. You could not have paid me a greater compliment than to know that living my life of peace, grace, and joy was even translating into my living space. There's another story to gezellig, but we'll save that for another day. And fast forward to December 2015 and my first Christmas in my new home. You see, I was so excited because Christmas is magic to me. It's about family and fun and friends and connection and good food. And this was not something my previous partner shared with me, so this was the year that all things Christmas could be unleashed. Think Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation. I bought turquoise and silver ornaments and a matching tree skirt. I dragged my children out to the country to a tree farm to get a real tree. I wore my elf hat and stripy matching knee socks, much to their chagrin. I strapped that tree to the roof of the car and got it home and wrestled it into the tree stand. And we decorated it with my matching ornaments. We had all our favorite snacks and listened to Christmas carols. I was in heaven. I even bought Christmas bedding and decorated my bedroom. The Christmas spirit was pushing me full steam ahead. I bought papers, ribbons, and tags to match my Christmas tree ornaments, because everybody does that. I lovingly wrapped each of my children's gifts with all of my hopes and dreams of the season. I was feeling truly blessed. I was living a life of peace, grace, and joy, and I had entered into a new contract with myself and how I would live my life. I'm sure as many of you have experienced, life can change on a dime. And that's what happened on December 21st, 2015, when my then 16-year-old son attempted suicide. The contrast was so great, it was inconceivable. I had just recalibrated some sense of myself when I was bulldozed by this. The next morning, I laid in bed with a pain so great I couldn't comprehend it. My sister was at my house taking care of things for me, and I had one task: to get to the hospital. That task could not have seemed more daunting. My mind could not imagine how I would get out of bed with a heart so heavy. But it tried, and it said, "You should have a bath." I thought, I can't. I have nothing left to give, not even enough to get up and have a bath. But it tried again, and it said, "Can you sit up?" And I thought, yeah, I can sit up. "Can you put your feet on the floor?" Yeah. "Can you take a step?" Yeah. "Can you take another step?" Yeah. I took baby steps until I made it to the bath and eventually my meeting at the hospital. And with each baby step, I realized I could do really hard things by taking the smallest step. Now, although that mindset served me well, that was not my biggest aha moment. My biggest aha moment came several days later. You see, my son has this amazing group of friends, and they came to the hospital every day for 10 days to visit him. Only 2 people were allowed to visit at a time, and on this particular day, it was his dad and sister. The rest of us were tucked in a little alcove near the Tim Hortons, and one of his friends, an avid 80s music fan, was listening to Depeche Mode. I happen to also be an avid 80s music fan, so I said, "Hey guys, do you want me to show you how we used to dance in the 80s? And there was a resounding yes. At least that's how I remember it. So I started dancing. You know, think Carlton, the Fresh Prince. I was on fire, and before I knew it, they had all joined in. And we were laughing and dancing and having fun. And in that moment, something clicked, and there was a flash of guilt. And then there was a bigger flash and realization that I was experiencing joy, and I could choose joy over guilt. I knew my son would not want me living in a place where my heart was so heavy I couldn't get out of bed. I knew he would want me to choose joy. Not only did my son begin his recovery and healing, but so did I. And 4 years later, we're both doing well. I'm living a life of peace, grace, and joy by practicing mindfulness, gratitude, and meditation. And I take 100% responsibility for my life. So when things are going wrong, it's my fault. And all of that has led me here today, making one of my dreams come true. In closing, I'd like to leave you with this. If you had told me 25 years ago that I would be living my best life with the following stats, 50 plus, single, and living alone with 2 cats, I would not have believed you. I would have told you I will not be happy with that life. Yet, here I am, reveling in the deliciousness of my life. I know that there is contrast in life. I know it can be hard or easy, hateful or loving, sad, or joyful. And I remind myself every day, it's your life. You choose. Thank you.